Hey guys, welcome to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klomazeski, and here with another feature with the one and only Anthony Minetti. And Anthony, I got to say, besides all the things we're going to talk about in terms of your success as a competitor and all the things you're doing entrepreneurially, what most people don't realize is you are the Tiger King of the fitness industry. Have you been able to watch that yet?
I haven't. I heard all about it. I've been seeing the memes. I can only imagine what it's all about, but I haven't dove into the Netflix series yet. No.
Okay. Well, before you consider that, an insult, let me say that I just can't take my eyes off of you because you're always so busy. You're always doing some amazing things. That's why I wanted to have you on this podcast. And truth be told, I was even down in Paul Ravella's office about 6 months ago, and he's just slamming through social media. And he said, hey, this Anthony Minetti guy, you know him pretty well, don't you? And I said, yeah, why? He goes, I just love this guy's content. I love he said the same thing. He said, I can't take my eyes off this guy. So one of the things I want to ask you, Anthony, is you saw something 10 years ago. I think you created your business in Somerville, New Jersey 10 years ago. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yep. October, actually, we opened June 2010, and then we officially opened our doors. We had some renovations, but it was like December of 2010 officially.
So tell me what was behind that vision, because today more people are clamoring to be online coaches and have digital businesses, and you love being right on Main Street, entrenched in your community and getting to see people face to face on a daily basis. So tell me what your vision was for that 10 years ago. And do you still think that is an important part of being a viable fitness professional?
100%. For me personally, I love that one-on-one. I love the small community. I love being able to, it's wild now this time of day. We can't, see and touch and be as close to people, the 6 feet, distancing thing. But that's how I learned it, through personal training and through, one-on-one kind of coaching. That's how I learned best. And I feel I've worked in, Gold's gyms. I've worked in big time luxury corporate, super high-end fitness centers or luxury fitness centers on the other end of the spectrum down to the Gold's Gym. So I've seen all ranges of the fitness environment. And what I liked about, the gym was that people were motivated and they went to the gym. And I love that. I love that every year that everybody, went gung-ho with their goals and they had initiative. But it would always die out. And I noticed that there was a few people who would be there every day regardless. And there was a few people who would make changes, and there was the other 90% of people who really wouldn't make changes year after year after year. They would go to the gym, but there was something that was missing. So whether they were Gold's Gym and they were paying, $20 a month, or they were paying $180 a month for the top end, there was still there was something missing. Like it was that coaching, and it was the education, and it was the structure and the kind of programming and the accountability that people were going to the gym, but they were missing. So every year you would see the influx of people going to the gym, and by March they would die off. They would not be there as much. And it was always, I would talk to people, and what happened? Oh, the gym didn't work for me, or that gym's not right for me, or that program didn't work. And it's not really what it's all about. It doesn't matter, because I've been in both situations, both gyms, and I know the results I got. I became, second Mr. Universe, a couple times. But I was able to transform my body regardless of what gym environment I was in. But the accountability and the coaching. So when I was leaving New York City, working in Tribeca, one of the awesome, best places I've ever worked, and lived, I didn't want to do that rat race anymore of being in New York. So when I told Karen, I was like, I want to be out of New York City by October. So she's like, okay, whatever. She kind of rolled her eyes, but literally I was on a mission to find a spot that I can create something that everybody who walked into the place would have some kind of fitness education at all different levels. So even if they were just doing, say, a group training, it was still, within a small group that I can control and kind of make sure that they were getting everything they needed to progress. The education program. And everybody who walked into my studio was going to have some kind of nutrition education. I've learned from being a bodybuilder that nutrition was 90% of it, but people for some reason didn't relate nutrition to transformation, or they didn't relate nutrition to, their goals. They just kind of went to the gym, quote unquote, air quotes. But that's when we linked up with you and did the whole Diet Doc program, and you taught us so much, and we still, use your education and your thought process with a lot of our stuff. Of course, we've modified it, catered to our community now, but that was when we started the Diet Doc program. And we wanted everybody who walked into our studio to have the education. So is it still relative now? Yeah, 100%. And now, like the Apex coaching that I'm a part of with you, we've gotten over the hump of, I've gotten out of my shell of being so, in the one-on-one studio, brick and mortar kind of mentality, and wanting to open up and broaden up, not only to increase revenue, but to help more people doing it virtually, doing it online. So my biggest thing with making that transfer is, how am I going to make sure that that person is really listening to me and really getting, the most, value out of the service. And nowadays, like through Zoom, through all these other platforms, I can still get my message across and help them, get to their goal. So I think there's a long-winded answer. I hope I answered your question, but I do feel like they're both important.
Right.
I'm still old school. I still like having a spot that I can go to, and there's, the same people who are kind of like vibing out with that energy, and it's definitely a certain kind of, atmosphere that's different than, virtual or any other place that I've been to, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah, I think it has come full circle in a historical context, but I think this pandemic is also going to create some new change that will be lasting. So what I've seen, Anthony, is, I created my own gym environment. I think it's about 27 years ago when I moved to Evansville, Indiana. So I bought this small gym, turned it into a training center. We that's where we launched our nutrition programming. The Diet Doc as a brand was born there. And so it really was all about that face-to-face personal training. That was the business model for fitness back then. Personal training was just starting 25, 30 years ago. And then all of a sudden, with my company really taking a lead even nationally, we created nutrition programming because, as you said, a lot of people needed that. That was the next wave that people were looking for. And, fast forward 15 years later, everybody, as I mentioned, is scrambling to create online coaching platforms. And that's kind of the new sexy. That's everybody wants to be an online coach, and they think it's just glamorous to sit on your couch and be a stay-at-home entrepreneur. And I really think that is why in the last 10 to 12 years, more than 15,000 functional fitness studios have emerged in our country, from CrossFit to all the functional boot camp type facilities, Orange Theory. All of those have come online with massive success, more than $4 billion in that little category alone as a sub-industry. With very little failure rate. Only 2% of those facilities fail, where gyms have a notoriously high failure rate. And one of the reasons why people have come back to a brick and mortar studio like that is that all-in-one mentality. They get the energy. They get an Anthony Minetti in their face training them, but they're also getting nutrition consulting and services and a community camaraderie that they just don't get on their own. And so I really, before this pandemic, Anthony, I would have said, look, the entire market is moving back to having physical contact with fitness professionals. And that's why I think you're brilliant in having created that 10 years ago. You found a location near New York City that you wanted to stay, close to home. You've created those roots that are incredible, and you just can't reproduce that digitally. When you are part of a community, that makes you, so much more recession proof, quote, pandemic proof. You've got members there that you're now supporting, who are supporting you in turn, because they want to see you make it through this. And the irony is, now you're having to serve those people digitally. Now you're actually doing Zoom classes 3 times a day. You're in their living rooms. You're still the same guy. They can't wait to come back and see you, but you're still taking care of them. And as you and I spoke about last week, this kind of opens your eyes to a new, method of delivering those services. Now, the things that you've been doing on Main Street in Somerville for a long time. Why not have that same service for 5,000 people around the world, or 10,000 or 10 million? I mean, this is going to be something that I think catches a lot of people off guard, because they just react, just like they're reacting to the pandemic. They're going to react to people, going back to business as usual. But there are going to be some permanent changes in every industry. And I think you're really on the leading edge of potentially using both. And this is my point. I'll toss it back over to you, Anthony. But it doesn't have to be either or. It doesn't have to be one business model or the other. There are a lot of people who need one or prefer one. But as a culture, I think we're going to always still support both.
Absolutely. I agree. I can't agree more, man. I get distracted quite often. You and I talk all the time about me staying focused, and some of it I love being, doing a bunch of different things. Other time I get really frustrated because I don't get the progress that I think I should, see because I'm so distracted. But I started this Body 365, concept maybe 3 to 4 years ago. I had the idea probably 5 years ago, and just getting delayed with being distracted. And I said, no, Body 365 is going to be everything we do here. We design our programs. I have 5 years of programs, one-of-a-kind programs, one-of-a-kind workouts. We've never done the same workout more than once in 10 years. It's always evolving. It's always progressive. It's a very structured way of doing things. We call it the 4-phase system. But we have years of those workouts that just sit on our shelf right now digitally. I mean, we could put them digitally and make a whole library of, resources for people just looking for workouts or looking for programs. So I started compiling it. I started the process little by little by little. But because I'm so distracted, I never went all in on it. However, I planted these seeds. So now 2 weeks to last week, a week and a half, however long it's been, it feels like it's been a month, but we just turned the switch on, like, okay, we are now going digital. 100% of our classes are live streaming. They get a copy of the pre-recorded, and I just created this whole system. I just rolled right into it because I planted the seeds, a couple months ago. And then I've been saying it, you know me, you know my history with media and television. So I love media. And I think every company for the past 7 years should have been considering going digital and should have been considering becoming a media-based company first. That's just technology. That's just how we're communicating. 1991, we wouldn't be able to communicate like this. If this happened in 1991, the coronavirus or whatever happened, we'd be sitting, staring at the news and watching TV and playing board games, which we still could do, but we wouldn't be able to conduct business like we're doing now through Zoom. Technology is advancing. So, I mean, you should be a media company, especially nowadays. And it's unfortunate, but I think a lot of companies are going to, let this, be a roadblock for them in their business. Some people are going to, close. Some people are going to expand. I'm like, damn, I'm pretty fucking excited right now. Not to be, selling the whole or demoralizing or making it sound less than it is. The pandemic is really serious, but all I do is I work out, I create videos, and I teach people through online. Like, this is like my ultimate dream, I'm an introvert at nature, and now I can just, create videos for all day long and stockpile them. And in 3 weeks, we'll have, 35 already preloaded live classes that we can start this whole new platform of, monthly membership in addition to our current membership or, programs. So for our current members, we're taking care of them. We're giving them everything we have. Whether you are on twice a week, 3 times a week, or unlimited, we're giving you all of our classes. And you have access to that. And on top of it, once this is all said and done, our members, just for their loyalty and support and being able to go through this with them together and being grateful for that, they're going to have unlimited access now to this virtual program. New members, maybe it'll be a minimal fee per month, and you'll have access to these classes and these workouts. So it's 3-4 months down the road. Now we have a whole nother business and another source of revenue for our company. And again, expanding and kind of along the way, we're learning to talk better in front of the computer. We're learning to, edit videos better. We're learning how to, navigate through this whole nother, way of doing business. So you pull the positive out of it, man. I'm pumped about it because it forced me, like, my business shut down. I can't open my doors to the public. I can't, do community events, which we're such a big, fixture in the community. We do a lot of events, 2 or 3 a year, where we go out and we host people, host these events where we're doing different things, mostly fundraisers, but we can't do that now. So the only thing I can do, it's like good for me to stay focused, is just knock this out and do what I can do with it,
Well, the couple of things that come to mind as you were talking there is first of all, you have an obsessive nature that when you do focus on one thing, I know you're just going to disappear for 3 weeks. Nobody's going to see you, and you're going to come out with this amazing new thing. That's why I likened you to the Tiger King. It's you're always going to be doing something new, and I think that not only are you on to the right thing here, but I really want our viewers to understand how valuable going all in on something can be. Because an awful lot of people who in the fitness industry saw these disruptions through the pandemic, immediately started doing, let me send out some home exercise programs to my clients. Let me check in on them. Let me do this. But you went all in. You sat there at your front door, giving your members equipment, checking things out, giving them little survival kits, checking in on them. And not only just sending them on their way with home exercise programs, but then streaming live video to them. And as I said earlier, I just can't imagine that those people that you have helped on a daily basis, while other gyms are seeing members just drop and cut, and they're saying, I'm not using it, so I'm going to leave. Your members actually care about your well-being. And the fact that you just said part of your company history in 10 years is becoming a community fixture. You've worked with nonprofits, you've done fundraising things. I constantly through your social media see you out in your community pulling people in. And I know you can do that even on a digital platform. I mean, look at all the companies that are purely digital, something as big as actually Google or Facebook or something like that. They can still be in their communities, that they can still draw people to them. But there is still something that will forever be different about you being right there downtown where, the mayor probably knows who you are, the city council, people like that, law enforcement, everybody knows you, you know them. That is the kind of full circle referral sources that will never leave you, Anthony. And I don't think people who have never had a community interface like you do understand that. I have not had a physical facility in Evansville, Indiana for probably, 10 years or so. And yet I still have people almost every week see me on the street and say, man, if you ever open up again, or if you ever have a facility, if you're ever training clients again, like I'll never work with anybody but you. These are people I may not have seen for 20 years, but that just never leaves. And as you start branching out into some of these digital avenues, which I think, as you said, is not only smart, but it is just how we communicate. I mean, that's your exact quote. It's just how we communicate today. I've said that so many times. How do you stay on that cutting edge? I mean, you're always thinking of something. You're always pushing and prodding and trying to push your business into different areas. Where do you get that kind of information or insight?
Man, you always make it sound like, when I listen to you, I'm like, damn, I'm going to hire you to be my publicist. Because I don't think about these things. It comes natural to me. And I'm sure that's not the answer that we're looking for here, but it's innate in me to just do what I feel like doing and do what I feel should be done, right? Like, for instance, this whole pandemic situation, how can I put my positive energy into all this stuff? People look to us for positivity, and they look to us for hope and inspiration, and not only a workout, but there's a cheer that we do, and they just maybe it's one word that I say or one quote or whatever it is, they look for that and they grab onto it, and that's a sense of that's who I am, right? So whether I always want that or not, it's a lot of pressure, right? But when leaders lead, and when we are in situations like this, you got to rise above, and you just kind of do what you feel or do what you should be doing. And I feel like this is what I should be doing: is how can I help these people out who are some people. I'm not paranoid about the pandemic. I'm not. A coronavirus, I think, is very serious, but I'm not paranoid about it. Some people are really, they won't leave their house. Not that we should anyway, but they're like really in a situation where like paranoia, right? Like they think they're going to get it, almost to the point where they almost, you know, attract it into their life. How can I provide them with a sense of hope? How can I provide them with, you know, maybe a workout that kind of, I know the importance of working out and how it, you know, helps me with all my kind of craziness and what it's done for me. So that's just what I do, is I provide. Now, when you're in a situation like this, how could you provide what you do when you don't have the facility that you're used to having? You just give people equipment, have a survival kit, like, you know, we called it that. But it's just doing what I should be doing in this situation. And I also believe in, like, you the way you analyze it, it's like, damn, you're right. You're right. I'm helping the community out. I'm just like, shit, this is what I can contribute to positively. And I believe in karma religion. That sounds crazy and whack, but I believe in, if you want to get, you have to give. And what's that quote? If you give enough people or help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. I really live by that, right? So happiness comes from, you know, my happiness comes from making somebody else happy or brightening up their day. It sounds corny and cliche, and you wouldn't get that from 99% of my muscle meathead fucking videos and flexes and all this other aggression, Jersey-like personality. But I really mean that, and that's who I am. So how do I stay in the cutting edge? I think a little bit comes from ADD and being bored and, you know, having an idea. And I was telling Karen the other day, I was like, babe, I need you to help me edit myself. If I have 10 ideas, one of them may be okay, but 9 of them may be complete shit. And I'm spending all my time figuring out these 9 ideas where maybe we gotta find the one gem and capitalize on that, because I do have all these ideas. And again, I don't act upon them because I get distracted by other shit, you know? So how do you stay on the cutting edge? Is like, you know, do what makes you happy. And then your vibe will attract your tribe. And these people have been, like, I'm blessed. Like on day one, we had, you know, as they were taking equipment, some of them weren't even up for dues and they were handing us checks. Like, I'm getting the chills right now, and I could get emotional because people were just, I don't even watch the news. So I don't even know the severity of it at the time. Right. So people are like, wow, we really want to make sure that, you know, you're here when we get back to normal. And I was like, wow, how bad is this, right? Like, I'm like oblivious, ignorant and naive about it. And I was like, damn, these people are just giving us checks, right? Like, people are buying merchandise. Like, not that they didn't in the past, but like, I just saw like sales come through. Like, I want to buy protein. Here's a check, please. My kids are home from school. Here's a check for, you know, all of us to take these classes. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Some people did freeze their membership. Some people are concerned about what the future looks like. But there are people who really do want to see us succeed. And I didn't do it because I knew that it would come back sometime. I just did it because we just created something there, you know. And as far as the brick and mortar goes, what you're saying about like having it be unique and it's never going to go away, I think you're absolutely right, because the energy that you walk into that place, and even though there hasn't been people in there now, you walk in there and there's just a whole different kind of energy. And I believe in that corny stuff about we all let off an energy and we all attract a different energy. So that place has been like, we weed out toxicity and we breathe positivity. That's kind of like my quote in there, right? So everybody who walks into that place has a different kind of vibe. And that, you know, it doesn't just stay there. It kind of carries out into the life, you know?
Yeah, you said a couple things there that I think are really key. You know, first of all, you said it's just in my nature to care about other people. And that is important. I mean, a fitness professional isn't transactional. You know, I consider fitness professionals part of the allied health community, and people become an occupational therapist or a nurse or a speech pathologist because they want people to be well. They care about their health. The most basic part of our humanity is our physical health. And a fitness professional is the same person. I mean, we're cut from the same cloth. And I see that in you. And you said your vibe attracts your tribe. It is your passion. It is the fact that you are doing what you love to do. You know, you believe you are meant to be here in this place doing this, and everybody else who knows you, you know, believes the same thing about you because your passion is something you're living. It's not just a mantra you put up on the wall and try and motivate people. I did a series recently, Anthony, you know, titled "You Are Your Business." You know, your storefront on Main Street is not your business. Your sign on the window is not your business. It's Anthony Minetti. and people will follow you wherever you go. And as you create this new digital product, you're just going to attract more people into your life, which is amazing. And for me, it's going to be exciting to see you expand, but still have both sides. Like I said, it's not either or. But it's, I would like just to wrap this up by you telling us exactly how, people could participate. Because I mean, you said you're already putting these in digital platforms. If I wanted to join your tribe, your facility, and start doing these workouts along with you through this pandemic, how could I get in contact with you?
I think the easiest way right now is head over to my Instagram and just hit me up with a DM and say you're interested. We're very early stages of it. We have the live stream that is, classes every day. We have yoga. We also have the strength training, full body strength training. We've modified the workout to do, minimal equipment. And if you don't have something, I can definitely make it work. And that's it. Hit me up on Instagram. Again, I get caught up with like design and having this page and sending people to it. The easiest way is to go to my Instagram at Anthony Monetti, Monetti. Hit me up with a DM, comment on something, let me know you're interested, and I'll reach out to you. And that's kind of how we've been doing it. I get caught up with the end finished product of having the app and having this, and I don't want to get distracted by that. I think immediate action is like anybody who wants to take part in me helping them or be involved in what we do, then that's the easiest way. I think because, again, part of my issue is like, no, it's not perfect, so I can't launch it to the public yet. It's like, no, we're doing it for our community. And another question I meant to ask you the other day, and this can be recorded, I don't care. I'm trying to be fair, right? So I don't know how to price this out now. And this is where, like you said, it's not transactional. I'm ignorant to this stuff. And yes, I look at who's doing what, but then I compare and I'm like, I get confused. I'll be very honest with you. There's not a lot that can go on up here at once. There's a lot of brain traffic. I know you know me by now, but like our members are paying X and they're getting on all of our live streaming classes. What is fair? How do we scale it? And how do we make it to be more affordable? At the same time, not take away from our members who are getting, basically now they don't have access to our studio. Nobody does. So they're basically, how do you scale the services and level the services?
I think, it is a great question, especially for somebody just getting into a new space. And you can never stop applying the laws of just supply and demand. So right now you have an entire world who doesn't perhaps know about the service other than your members. And so a lot of people are going to be cost conscious and say, well, I'm taking a risk on this. I don't know. And so it has to be, somewhat on the low end. A lot of people say you make your price by your perceived value. And so if you charge an astronomical amount, if you said, hey, this is going to be $8,000 a month because I'm Anthony fucking Monetti, I mean, maybe one or two people on the planet would bite and you'd be like, okay, I've got 2 clients now and I'm making 16 grand. I don't like that model, but some people, they think they have to be the Ferrari. It can work, but I like to say, look, let's give everybody a chance. I'm an old school free enterprise capitalist. So I think I have to earn your respect. I have to earn your trust. I have to earn your money. I don't want you to spend $1 on me that you will ever regret. So I'm always willing to give people a taste test, like something free, something incredibly discounted. And then if you think this has the right value, then here's what you said, Anthony, is the fair standard price. And that's where I think we still all have to live by those laws of supply and demand. So if you're charging something that's just too exorbitant and there are 1,000 other people, available doing this for less money that may even have more mature digital platforms and bells and whistles, then I think you're cutting your own knees out from under you. So I always start with just a really good offer, something that somebody just can't refuse. It's either free, here's a free trial, here's this, and then earn it from there.
Deal, man. Fair enough. Good answer.
All right. Well, here's what I want to do. I'm going to put all of your information in the show notes so people can contact you. But I appreciate you being here. I've known you now going on probably 15 plus years, and I just love what you and Karen stand for. All the things you do. You're not only a top drug-free professional bodybuilder, You're a personal trainer at heart who's been in the game for 20 plus years, just helping people. You've adopted, nutrition concepts and programming, everything that people need, you continue to provide. And that's why I think not only will you always be out there in front, whether you realize it or not, but you mentioned that you're introverted by nature, but you understand that a leader still has to lead. It's almost a science and a discipline. And you are that guy, whether you recognize it or not. People are going to follow you. People are going to be attracted to your charisma and your energy. So, man, I'm just behind you 100%, and I want to keep pushing you out to the front because you're the kind of person that I want to see succeed in this industry. So.
Can't thank you enough, man. All your support, encouragement, positive words, real talk at times, calling me out when I need to be called out, and I appreciate it, man. I need people like you in my life to kind of, keep me, again, vibe attracts your tribe, man. So everything you said, mutual feelings back at you, and I appreciate all your support. And I love to talk, man. So if you ever want to do this again, let's go.
Absolutely. I'm going to come out there and see your space as soon as we get over this. But
we were supposed to do it in January, man, but here we are in March and locked up until at least April or May.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I'll make sure it's one of my first places I go.
All right. I appreciate it, man.
All right. Anthony Minetti, thank you very much. And for those of you guys watching and listening, please share this if you want. I want people to understand how you in the fitness industry can not only survive this, but thrive and get out of your own comfort zone, out of your own head, and just do what Anthony's doing. Give people what they need, and you'll always have a place in their lives. So thanks for watching and listening. We'll see you next time in Contest Prep University.